You know him, you love him. The man, the myth, the legend is here tonight.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everyone, welcome back to another interview-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And I'm Will.
Will. Okay, so if you've been listening to Empire Radio for any amount of time, you know Will, because he sends
Williams in the house.
He probably has sent in more voicemails than anyone else. So if you haven't been listening to voicemails, what are you doing with your life? Well, listen to the whole episode. But Will is here, and he's one of our moffs, or our grand moffs in the Discord, which is a mod.
Oh, I was like, what? But yeah, that's right too.
So he's great. He's always a big part of the community. So I was like, what better person to have on the podcast for an interview than our good friend Will? So, Will, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Yep, sounds just
I
like...
totally didn't just get dragged into this.
What?
Whoa.
Whoa, come on. We asked you, and you said, yeah. We didn't put a gun to your...
Yeah.
blaster to your head and march you down the way. But, yes, so we're excited for tonight's interview because Will's great. But before we jump into the interview, we have a Q&A from last week from after Retta's interview. Go check out Retta's interview if you have listened, because that was great. But we had the question of, if you could do a movie/show quality cosplay of any Star Wars character, who would you pick? And so Elias says Revan. Dazdor says a 501st Trooper. Nate Keeney says Drew's favorite, Broom Boy.
Okay.
Abe Fish says Mace Windu, easily, which I think Mace Windu is pretty easy, right? There's nothing like anything crazy about him. He just has his basic like Jedi garb on, so that would be an easy one to do.
Maybe minus the hand.
Yeah, you gotta lose a hand. But then Jonathan says a full set of Mandalorian armor has to be the holy grail of Star Wars cosplay. But I'd be my favorite hunter, Embo, or is it Embo or Imbo? I think it's Imbo. Embo. I'm a big guy, so I'd also like to do a Savage Opress cosplay. 332nd Trooper would be cool too. I don't think I've seen a Savage cosplay before.
I haven't either.
So yes. So Jonathan, we expect you to do a Savage Opress cosplay because you'd be the first that I've seen. So get it done. Send us pictures.
In the Discord.
Join the Discord if you haven't.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That'd be cool.
Will, what would be your go-to cosplay? Because you sent in voicemails last week asking about going into cosplay. What would be your number one choice for Star Wars cosplay?
Oh boy. If I had to pick, it would either be Qui-Gon or C-3PO.
C-3PO. People don't do C-3PO either because it's like...
That's hard.
That's hard to walk, like, get that, because you can't move. So, especially if you have, like, the crossbar, like, on the elbow, like he does. Like,
I feel like it would be a nice challenge.
Like, you're kind of screwed if you have to go use the bathroom or something. But anyway, that was last week's cosplay stuff. So go check out Retta's interview if you haven't already, because tonight we have Will. So we're going to go over the same questions that we normally do for every interview. So we'll just jump into it. So, Will, what is your Star Wars story? So how did you become a Star Wars fan?
So my Star Wars, I guess now it's an obsession. um, it started when my parents went on a trip to Atlanta to visit my dad's friend from college, and man, I was such a restless kid, and bless his heart, he did not know how to calm me down other than sitting me in front of a TV screen. It just so happened that he put on the Phantom Menace, and when I heard Jar Jar Binks speak for the first time, I was like, "What? What is this? I must watch more."
And how
And
old were you at
that's
this point?
I was about like 7 or 8.
Okay.
Makes sense. Typical Jar Jar age.
And so from that, you get introduced to Star Wars, and then what happens after that? Because you can't just watch one Star Wars movie. So, like, what happens after that?
Oh, after the first movie, I was kind of like, "Is it possible to learn this power?" And he showed me the the rest of the prequels, and then of course the original trilogy. The sequels weren't a thing, so I didn't have to worry about that. And then I believe when Clone Wars was on Cartoon Network, I would watch that and the OG Clone Wars.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Most people, it seems like most people have only watched Clone Wars as like a rerun or like on Disney Plus. Like I watched it originally on Netflix when it was on Netflix. So you watched it live, like as they were coming out live.
Yes. As they were coming out with the episodes and all that for uh I don't remember when it was like canceled,
It was canceled
but
when Disney in
Bought it.
2012 when Disney bought it. That was after
uh,
season 5, and they had like those lost episodes of season 6 that they just published since it was they're already done. But
I think I was pretty heavy up until season like 3, because then school and all that, and I forgot about it.
right,
Important stuff in a youngling's life.
cool. So that's a. I like that you were watching the Clone Wars as it was coming out because, like I said, not a lot of people have done that. So that's interesting. And so back then, when you were like a kid watching this stuff, was it like big for you? Was it important, or like was it not till when you were older when Star Wars became an obsession?
Uh, kid me was more like, whoa, they have colorful swords and blasters. Ooh, and now I appreciate the themes behind them,
Cool,
and I
Makes
can kind
sense.
of like read into it more as an adult.
right. And were you hyped when Disney took over and like you were gonna get new Star Wars?
At first, I was like, "Oh yeah, Disney taking over Star Wars. What could go wrong?"
I
And then, yeah,
Because you would
think
have
we were all
been
thinking that.
because you would have been what, like 11 or 12 when Disney took over. So like
something
11,
like that.
11
Yeah.
years ago. So you were still a kid when Disney took over, which is interesting. Man, we're getting old, Drew.
I don't you just aged the crap out of me, bro. With that.
So that's cool. So, and then the rest is history. And so, how did you find us? Like, what caused you to find Empire Radio?
Oh boy. So this is gonna be a little Will lore. I I was working in a grocery store, and my then girlfriend at the time would always call. I don't know why. but we would always call. And then things happened, and I had to find a new thing to, I guess, listen to while I was at work. So I was like, what do I like? Star Wars. And then I managed to find y'all because I just searched up Star Wars in the search bar, and y'all were the first one that showed up besides Star Wars Theory.
Ooh, good to know. I like that. All right.
Yep. We're usually in like the top 3, like in searches on Spotify. So that's good. So cool. All right. Well, that's Will's Star Wars story, and he's been with us in the Discord for what, over 2 years now. So I think it was last summer he became a mod in the Discord. So
Yeah.
he's very important. He's a very active, one of our most active users in the Discord. So if you join the Discord, you can talk to Will. So that's always fun.
And the live chat.
Yeah, also in
So
the
if
Twitch.
you ever
Twitch stream,
have
yeah.
not come to the Twitch side of the podcasting, if you want to catch us live, Will's normally yelling at people in the chat constantly. So
Cool,
yeah.
cool.
Especially if I say what's up and you reply this guy in either the Twitch chat or the Discord. I'm like, oh man.
Interesting. Fun. All right. Well, Drew, what's the first top 2 that we're going to go over tonight?
Yes, the first top 2 is your top 2 flying ships.
Not relationships.
Flying
Yep, I just said
Star-
flying ships.
Starships, what is your favorite? Top 2. What's your number 2?
Yeah, that's why you should just switch it to starships.
My top 2. This is a really hard decision, or it was at the time, but now it's kind of decided. My first one would be the Naboo
goes number 2.
Starfighter.
Oh, oops. Is that your number 1 or is that your number 2?
Number 2.
Okay,
Perfect.
perfect. Naboo Starfighter. So is that the yellow one or the Mando one?
The yellow one.
Okay.
Because spinning is always a good trick.
Facts.
Cool. So is that like a very nostalgic one for you? Because that was in the first movie you saw.
Yes, it's so much nostalgia.
Cool. And then your number 1 starship.
My number 1 would be the TIE Fighter.
Nice.
Of course, you can imagine why. Yeah.
Yep.
The noise.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen the like the Basset Hound like in the vet barking. Have you seen that clip? And like
Yeah.
it sounds like a TIE fighter, so every time it barks, it like goes to a TIE fighter going across the screen. If you've never seen that clip, it's one of like top 10 things on all the internet of all time. Is the Basset Hound barking in the vet. And
I don't think I've ever seen that.
dude, it's so spot on. Exactly sounds like a TIE fighter. It's just funny.
Really?
Yeah, it's funny.
I would have Will send me a link, but
Yeah,
I guess not tonight.
we'll put it in the chat. Put a link in the chat. All right. Cool. All right. So next up, top 2 lightsabers.
Top 2 lightsabers. Well, I have to go with this one, as this would be my, of course, second choice. It would be Ezra's, the little blaster saber.
That's 2 in a row.
Dang, Retta had that last week, I think. So I like
Yes,
that
she did.
saber. Drew and Andrew
Yeah.
hate that saber. And
I
now,
don't hate
Why?
it. Okay, whoa. I don't hate it. I think it's cool, but I don't know.
all right.
I don't hate it. Andrew hates it. Andrew thinks it's so unpractical. I think it'd be cool hilt. Like if Galaxy's Edge made that, like a metal one, that'd be kind of cool.
Kale found it, I think.
Yep.
Nice.
All right. So, Will, why do you like Ezra's original saber so much?
There was this one scene where I believe Kanan was using it, and I believe it stopped working for some reason, and then, or it turned off for some reason, and it just turns into a blaster. I'm like, how cool is that?
Yeah. I agree. I think it's
Yeah.
a very underrated lightsaber.
And the way Retta explained it last week was like you can use it and you're hiding the fact that you have a lightsaber because you like the whole point of that is like it's just a gun. I probably shouldn't have one either, but it's just a gun. So like I think that that's a good way to think about that saber. Like there's more of a way for him to hide the fact that he has a lightsaber because he didn't want the
Right.
Empire to know that he was training to become a Jedi or he was a Jedi in their mind.
Which is interesting because Kanan's saber, like he had in two pieces
Hmm.
to hide it. So it's
For the same reason, yeah.
interesting that like they both had incognito sabers.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen more of like Jedi's in hiding have that concept.
Yeah. Cool. Well, then what is your number one saber then?
Oh boy, my number one is Anakin's.
Little Annie's.
Little Annie.
And why do you choose that as your number one?
I'd like to say there's a reason, but there's not really that much of a reason besides I have it in the other room.
Oh, you actually have it. That's cool.
That's a good reason. You got from Galaxy's Edge?
No, this was back when there were like pop-up Star Wars stores like all the time. I believe what's the name of one of them? I forget it, but I believe it's in Texas.
The big one in Texas?
Yes, I
There's a
believe they
big.
had
It's like
like other
Hyperdrive or
stores.
something like that.
Yeah, it's something like
It's
that.
huge in Texas. It's the biggest Star Wars store, and
Well,
like that's on my list to go to.
everything is bigger in Texas. So
Facts, but it's
if you're listening and you're from Texas and you've been there, send us a voicemail.
a video or something.
Send us a voicemail video to our fan email. Link is in the description.
Yeah, I really want to go to that one. I
I've-
think it's called Hyperdrive or something.
I've never heard of it. That's cool.
It's huge. It's like a warehouse of Star Wars only stuff.
Reed, go to Texas.
Just go to Bucky's.
Do it.
All right.
Road trip.
Cool. All right, Drew, what's up next?
All right, top 2 droids.
Top 2 droids. Okay, these are gonna be, I guess, pretty similar in personality. Number 2 would be R2D2.
Classic. Can't go
Fair.
wrong with R2D2.
No, you can't.
So then what's your number one?
Wah, 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 wah.
Oh,
Chopper.
Yep.
I thought you were gonna say was it the Gonk droid?
Oh,
Gonk for the
That's-
win.
that's 3.
Okay.
So yes, very similar in personality and ruthlessness, but why did you put?
I think that was the exact same as Retta's too.
Was it? Because I know she had Chopper. Retta was also.
Because remember, she had a cosplay that has a R2 unit that
that's
she
right.
built, that they built.
Right. So
Our Discord thinks alike, you guys.
So they're both very similar. So why did you put Chopper above R2 on your list?
Mostly, I feel like Chopper's sassiness outweighs R2's. And that kind of draws me in more, and you can also understand Chopper
saying?
more. Yes.
Yeah. Like, I wonder.
I believe
Go ahead.
that there's a couple of times in Rebels we can just clearly understand him, and I think that's funny because you know what he's saying. It might not be good what he's saying, but you know what he's saying.
Right. Because I think of R2 as more like intellectually sophisticated,
The wise version of Chopper.
like a wise like the Yoda of
The
ruthless.
R2, the R unit.
Right, and then Chopper is
Chopper,
more
if he
just
went to
like
Yale.
he's extroverted and he just flies by the
He's
seat.
the Anakin
Maybe because he
of the
flies by the
argument.
seat of his pants, like when he's
Yeah.
just racing on one wheel, like kind of like seat out of his pants. So yeah, so 2 in a row. Maybe our next interview on November 1st could be the same too. You never know. We'll have to see. Wouldn't it be crazy if all 4 interviews that we have planned have the same top 2 droids? That'd be funny.
That'd be
All
cool.
right, cool. So, what are next up your top 2 creatures in Star Wars?
Top 2 creatures. Number 2 would be the Rancor.
Ooh, I like that.
That one scene in the original trilogy where the gate just slams on the Rancor, that still gets me. Like, wow, why did they put that in here?
Do you
And
get
then later
sad
on-
like his trainer?
Yeah, later on the trainer just goes like, no, the poor trainer.
Yep, that's pretty sad guy. So that's your number 2. What's your number 1?
My number 1, I don't know if you've heard this one before, but the Varactyl,
What?
the little lizard thing that Obi-Wan rides in Episode 3
Isn't it?
when he's engaging General Grievous.
Oh, that thing.
Yes, that thing.
Oh, I was like, you mean the Eope that he's walking in the desert at the end? No, but I've never known. I've completely forgot about that one. And why do you like that as your number 1?
This is very specific, but in Galaxy's Edge, I refound my liking for it because there's an audio clip of it that plays in the surrounding area, in the surrounding forest-ish area. And also it's because I like the noise it makes.
Yeah, then that's what DVU Twist said in the chat. It makes a cool noise.
It is a very iconic noise. I still
Yeah,
think that's like
kinda.
a weird,
Like I don't know how to do it.
well, just the fact that Obi-Wan just is riding this creature, like it's just a weird.
You just found it lying around and be like,
Yeah,
hey,
like,
you
where
want to
did it
help
come
me get
from?
General
Like-
Grievous?
Like
Well, and it's not very stealthy because it makes a lot of noise. Like it's
that
not
is true.
the stealthiest of creatures, but
As it's crawling up, you just hear dun 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 dun.
well, and I just feel like that's kind of Obi-Wan though. He always has some weird creature that he hangs out with.
Yeah, he
Like
was in the original. Well, he rode the Eope, which is just a weird thing, like
the poop thing.
on Tatooine. What else does he hang out with?
That one. Yoda. Like
Hangs out with Jar Jar. a little
Jar
bit.
Jar.
Interesting. All right. Cool. Drew, what's up next?
Your top 2 musicals / themes and songs. Or musical themes and songs.
Oh boy. This might be a bit controversial. Number 2 would be Anakin's Dark Deeds.
Oh, that's a good
Ooh.
one.
That's a good one.
Definitely very emotional.
And number 1 would be Across the Stars.
Oh,
that's a good one.
That's it.
I
like
like that
I
one.
think I can't remember if I had that on my
I
top.
think you had it on your list.
Is that my list or I was an honorable mention? And I remember both you and Andrew like rolled your eyes. I'm like, dude, it's still a good song. Like you don't have to care about Anakin and Padme. It's still a good. But why do you choose those as your top 2? Will?
Dark Deeds, because of the emotional factor of it. Master Skywalker, there's too many of them. What are we going
What
to
are
do?
we going to do?
And then for Across the Stars, I've always liked that song. If I eventually get married, that is going to be on the playlist. Hopefully, the outcome would not be the same afterwards.
Yeah, I don't know if that could be bad luck.
That would be.
Some people have. I have seen clips of people playing Across the Stars for the bride walking down the aisle. So that is a thing. Or people could do a dance at the dance. They could do the bridegroom dance to that. But yeah,
Bridegroom dance.
Make sure
the
whoever
cantina
you
music.
married is a Star Wars fan or have at least seen Star Wars and appreciated it.
Yep.
Oh, my plan is to make them watch, even if they're like, I haven't watched it. We're watching it right now.
What if they're a Star Trek fan? Would you marry a Star Trek fan, Will? Like, they like Star Trek as much as you like Star Wars.
Ooh, that'd be fun. The debate relationship part would be cool.
That would be an interesting mix. Imagine if they like cosplay too, and we cross between like the franchises. That would be fun.
I mean, you could do your C-3PO cosplay, and then your spouse could do a Data cosplay, because they're basically the same thing. It's like computer analytical, like whatever. And that's the only thing I know about Star Trek is.
Yeah, that's just only because you watched
Next Generation.
Reading Rainbow.
Oh, that was different. No, that's a different character. Who is Reading Rainbow's character?
Isn't it? No, it's the same guy.
No, Data is the white guy that's like a cyborg.
Oh, he's the skeleton, like the
cyborg,
vampire looking one.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the guy with the glasses. What's his name?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I just don't know his name.
I don't know.
I believe Devutrix might be of assistance.
Come on, chat. What's the name of?
That's LeVar.
LeVar is his name. Like his
LeVar Burton. Yeah,
is his real life name. I can't remember what his character.
What character?
Was. But have you ever seen the
glasses guy?
The little cartoon thing. I think it might have been. Was it like College Humor or something like that? They made a thing like Star Trek versus like Star Wars, like, and it's like Next Generation guy, Captain Picard or whatever, like debating like Vader when he hollows in, and they're just like making fun of each other. That's really funny. That's a good video for you to look up too.
You ever seen the How I Met Your Mother thing? I posted on Instagram for us, but it was like about a relationship, and he's like, yeah, she's never seen Star Wars, and he's like,
the only people that haven't seen Star Wars are the people who are in it because they lived it.
Exactly.
Drew, do you remember Battle of the Floors at North Central?
Yes.
So one of the years I was there, we did How I Met Your Mother, and it was a Star Wars
thing,
like, parody,
a Minnesota Star Wars thing.
It was a parody of Star Wars. It was pretty. They had a. Okay, that's a whole different thing, because no one's gonna know what we're talking about at all. No. But they had some good, fun Star Wars parody stuff that they did in that skit. But that being said, what better way to entertain your guests at your wedding than to have some good caffeinated drinks such as coffee or tea, and you might as well just get it from one of the best coffee and tea companies in the world, Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea, because they are our sponsors tonight, and they sell the best coffee and tea in the galaxy. So let's take a listen to our sponsor.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code EMPIRERADIO, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
All right, cool. Well, now we're getting into some of the meatier topics.
I was gonna say the chat's getting into basketball topics, but that's in the chat. You guys are watching this on YouTube.
It's basically all DeVue
post.
Twist. It's like
well, I was gonna say if you're watching this, you see that Will's also a huge Boston Celtics fan, which you don't live in Boston.
No, I don't. I live in North Carolina.
Like you even have like a banner around.
Yes.
You have wallpaper. Like
Yeah. This has been my
explain why you like
room.
them.
This
There's
has
nothing
been
to
my
Star
room
Wars,
since
but I'm
I
just
was a
curious.
kid.
You just
Basically my dad, he would always watch the Celtics with Larry Bird. And of course that just translated to me as he would watch games. And of course in 2008 championship, so yeah, that kind of ups it for me a bit.
yeah, when you guys took our player and
that's just Minnesota sports. We always get great players that like are rookies and like new to the league, and then some other team picks them up and then they go win a championship. Or like they're terrible with us, and then another team gets them and they're super good. I'm like
Randy Moss. No, he just went to a good team. He was
like
he did better with us than he ever did with.
Oh, DeVue Twist, you live in Massachusetts? Do you pack the cat a lot?
what? Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, okay. But can you believe that the Minnesota Twins had David Ortiz?
Yeah, I don't like to talk about that.
And then
But
he
we
became-
did. We have 2 rings from the Twins. Okay, so
Yeah. When I
was born, the year I was born,
before I
91.
was born, and then when I was not even old enough to know what baseball was.
True.
But you're not here listening to this podcast to know
That's
about
another podcast.
About how depressing Minnesota sports are.
Yep. So next up, this is a juicy one. Top 2 characters in Star Wars.
Oh boy, top 2 characters. Okay, number 2. I know I have his lightsaber, but it would be Anakin.
All right. Cool.
Mostly because in the movies, they didn't really do a good job of his fall. And they needed the Clone Wars show to kind of make up for that in a massive way.
Right.
And I just don't like how he acted in episode 2. It's not his fault. It just leaves a poor taste in my mouth. Otherwise, he would be 1. But episode 2,
So did you
Then-
fanboy in Ahsoka when he showed up?
Oh, of course I did. When he was like, "You lack conviction," I was like, "Oh no, what's gonna happen?"
Cool. So then your number 1, who is it?
My number 1, I guess you can say he's always been here. You just haven't been ready to see him.
Uh-oh.
It'd be Qui-Gon.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
Cool. So why is Qui-Gon your number 1?
I was all Qui-Gon as a kid. I had the little plastic swing lightsaber that would always hurt when he got hit with it. I had a turtle. I named him Qui-Gon.
oh, that's sweet.
uh,
He
And just
had
all-
a turtle.
yeah, had a turtle.
R.I.P. Qui-Gon.
He's still out there somewhere.
You
Oh,
let him
probably.
free? Go free
Hopefully.
in the wild?
Yeah.
Was he wild and then you found him?
My grandpa found it in his backyard. So then after a while, we of course let it back at the wild.
You know, when my mom was a kid, they found a turtle at her cabin, and like I don't know if this is like ethical, but they carved like initials on the bottom of the shell,
Oh
and
no,
then they let
that's
them
not
go out into
ethical.
the wild. And like 20 years later, they found a turtle, flipped it over. It was the same turtle.
Oh, that's cool.
'Cause they
Well,
saw
so
the-
sad. They gave a turtle a tattoo, and then they found the
yeah,
tattooed turtle later.
pretty crazy.
It's kind of like how with lobsters, with female lobsters, they'll like chip the edge of their tail so they know not to like catch them.
Oh yeah, they
Or-
cut the.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Interesting. All right, cool.
But yes, Qui-Gon, probably one of the best Jedi in the Order that was never part of the Council as much as he wanted to be.
I don't know if he
Or as
wanted
much
to.
as he deserved.
Deserved to be. I
Yeah.
don't know if he
Yeah,
wanted to be-
deserved.
He was too good to be on the
He didn't
council.
want there.
So, did you absolutely love that Tales of the Jedi when it's young Qui-Gon and Dooku?
Yes,
That was I really
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I hope we get more Qui-Gon in the future. Liam
I don't know
Neeson.
how, but that'd be
The
cool.
only way we'd do it is if it was
Do his own
Obi-Wan
show.
season 2, and we saw like Qui-Gon training Obi-Wan. That'd be the only way.
That could work too.
That'd be wild.
Yeah.
Just to get a number 2 of that show, because I don't know how that would work.
Because like I don't think there would be like an enemy. Like I don't know what it would just be Qui-Gon training Obi-Wan how to
Fighting Sand people.
fighting sand people. Like just keep like because the training would be how to become a Force ghost. So
He would tell Obi-Wan about his very particular set of skills.
that is true. That is true.
I will find you.
All right, Drew. What's up next?
Your top 2 moments.
Top 2 moments. Okay, number 2 would have to be the Battle of Endor.
Okay.
Specifically, all the Ewoks. as a kid, I had this like DVD of the Ewoks show that I would watch over and over and over. So that kind of hit a sweet spot for me with the movies when I eventually got around to them. I was like, oh, Ewoks. Except for the one part where the one Ewok checks on the other Ewok and is like, no.
He's laying
Just
there.
that part.
Yeah.
Tries to wake him up, and he's
It's like, wake up, no.
So does that mean you like when we do the Ewoks cartoon episodes?
Yes, you should do more.
in your face, Andrew.
It may or may not
Andrew,
already be in the schedule
face.
for before the end of the year. So
We should have scheduled that for when Andrew was on.
He just wouldn't have came.
He would have called in sick that day, probably.
Like, oh, guys, I would have loved to, but Kate McKay is sick and all that. And
hmm
they need to like that reimagining of Obi-Wan versus Vader from episode 4, like where they redid it with like added scenes. They need to do
Yes.
that with the Ewoks on Endor, like make them more ruthless.
Like zombies.
No, I'm saying like because like what we had was kind of like a little kiddish, like kind of goofy.
Oh, like show them eating the troopers.
No, not like that. Just make it
No.
more, add more, so it's more like intense. Like they're more like
That's pretty
Like-
intense, bro.
like maybe not have them use little slingshots.
all right. Battle of Endor was your number 2. So what was your number 1 moment?
Duel of the Fates. When that door opens and Darth Maul,
Oh yes, bro.
one saber, the other saber. What was that? What was that one scene in the Lego version where it's like, awesome, I am so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a solid number 1 moment. It was very that duel.
Well, when like was it Padme was like, "We'll go this way."
We'll
Yeah,
take the long way.
we're gonna go
We'll take the
this
long way. Like, we're not dealing with that.
But it was kind of funny because I've seen people make fun of that scene because like you had all those people with blasters. They could have all started shooting at Maul, and like there's no way he could have like.
It's too
he
intimidating,
was
dude.
just slowly turning on his lightsaber too.
It's just too intimidating. A guy with a hood, they haven't seen anything like that. Like, no one with red lightsaber before, and the black hood standing, the doors open.
The door's open. Hey, who's this guy? He's not scheduled to fly out of the hangar today.
Yeah.
What's he doing here?
Funny.
Maul probably would have killed them all.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see. Maybe they do Star Wars What If. What if Padme didn't take the long way?
Do that.
She died, and then Anakin doesn't turn to the dark side, and then we're all good.
Yeah. All right. So next up, top 2 least favorite moments in Star Wars.
Okay, this one will definitely get heads turning. Number 2 would be the trash compactor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Why?
Mostly it's a more personal thing. I don't like enclosed spaces.
Oh, okay.
And that kind of freaked me out.
you don't like trash? Okay, that's fair.
Oh. And then after that scene happens, I can just imagine
The smell.
Chewie just smelling like garbage the entire time, and it just
Wet dog.
It just
Yeah.
Is he
It
dry
just ruins
after
the
that
rest of the
scene?
movie.
Like, is he wet? Does he look wet? I can't even remember.
No.
I don't know.
Remember,
but the smell
because
was so
Leia's
good.
dries her hair off with some random towel they find or something.
Oh.
Remember that? It was like, what? How is it?
The fancy Imperial towel.
All right. Trash. I would never expected that. Like, that was something that just came out of nowhere. But what's your number 1 least favorite moment in Star Wars?
Ooh, David Twist does make a good point. He did stay in the doorway the whole time.
Oh, that is true.
They honestly, probably for effect, because they probably didn't want to have to actually get him wet.
Yeah, I guess that makes
Just
sense.
get a whole bunch of hair dryers.
Like, it would probably take too long to actually get him dry.
Yeah. That
As a
would have
costume?
been expensive anyway. That makes sense.
They probably actually didn't get him wet. He probably had waders on and we couldn't see them. Like, he probably didn't have the full suit on. And yeah, you're right. I don't think he actually got wet.
So I think there was a scene like where he was like pushing with against the walls, but like it was just like a close up, like so like they could have just done it without water in there, and they just filmed him pushing against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was one of him also like looking through the water.
Because isn't he the one that saw the snake eyeball thing originally?
I thought that was Luke that saw it first.
Was it?
The eyeball?
I can't remember.
I
Who saw him
I know
first?
Luke felt it. Something just passed me.
Interesting. I have
It's
to go,
over there.
now I have to go back and watch that scene now because like I got.
This is all part of my master plan.
Yep.
To watch the...
Second
Just
half.
try to get him to watch the first half of A New Hope, not the second half.
Yeah, I just need to say I just need to completely forget what my second thing was going to be. Be like, oh, it's part of New Hope.
The first part of New Hope.
The whole first part.
The whole thing.
All right, but what is your number 1 least favorite moment in Star Wars?
Anything involving Canto Bite.
Okay, that's fine.
Like why is there a whole casino planet basically?
It's just where rich people hang out, I guess. But
It's
yeah,
the island, bro. It's the island.
yeah, it is like a weird like. It doesn't like. It's just very different in Star Wars than we're used to. So it's like, Yeah, we see rich people like at like the opera scene, like in episode 3.
It's just out
But
of
like
place.
it
It
just
doesn't. It feels like Vegas.
Yeah. Which when you have like gambling in say like Tatooine, you kind of expect that. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
right.
Canto Bite. This is a whole bunch of rich people hanging out.
Yeah.
Like,
The real scum
This
and
is-
villainy.
yeah.
And then you got that one guy. He's like, they can't park on
The
the
what-
beach. What is this? Then it gets the cops involved, and I'm like,
The
come on,
one
guy.
And Broom Kid. Don't forget about Broom Kid.
Hey,
That's the
Broom
best part of
Kid was the
Canto Bite.
one saving grace.
Okay, guys. All right.
All right. All right, Drew. What's the next one? Oh, he's taking a drink.
Your Star Wars hot take.
Star Wars hot take. That would be that the sequels, minus the last one, weren't as bad as everyone thought.
Minus the last one?
Yes, that means the last one was bad.
So, okay. Interesting. So why do you appreciate those first 2 movies more than most people? It seems like you're implying.
The first 2 movies, forgive me if I mess this up, but I believe the first one is The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
To me, that's kind of like a carbon copy, New Age, New Hope. So I'm fine with that, and I like how they use the Force as like a vroom sound,
Okay. Yeah.
so you can kind of like feel it, like if you're in the theater. Yeah.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts
And then
on
this-
episode 8 then?
I believe it follows a
Wait, before you say anything else, just
Yes.
remember your job could be on the line. But yeah, keep going.
I believe it follows a more what's the word I'm looking for?
Unique approach.
Yeah. It follows a more unique approach, but you can still grasp that they tried to at least put the story together. Besides the very last one, where I say this every time, all of the Sith got defeated by a magic trick, putting the lightsaber behind your head. And, oh, how did I get this lightsaber?
Come on, it makes sense based on them connecting in the Force.
Yeah, but when have they like physically exchanged items
Well, the
through the
rain,
Force before?
the rain.
Oh yeah, they had the rain, but
and then they were
in my eyes,
fighting.
they only saw that could happen. They never really tried it, so it was all just like, oh, why don't we try this? If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And then it somehow works.
I don't know. I don't know.
But that's kind of how all Force users start out. Like, let's see this work. Like, let me kiss someone and give them life and ruin my life. Or let me last minute try to grab a lightsaber, and I've never been able to move anything with the Force before. And then
let me
get
use
it.
Force Heal, which completely invalidates why Anakin would fall.
Okay, well, there's that.
All right, hot. So that's your hot take that 7 and
But
8 were not as
8
bad.
over 9? That's wild.
I don't know. We'll be getting to his rankings soon, but
That's not how the Force works.
all right. So that's your hot take. That's a good one. I like when people appreciate the sequels more than they hate, just because it's sometimes it's just like it's exhausting. People complaining about the sequels, and it's like, all right, guys, it's been a while. Let's just get over it, type of thing. So I appreciate that hot take. But next up, rank the 3 trilogies From least to favorite.
Rank the 3 trilogies. So you said it would go least to
Yep,
most.
least favorite trilogy, all the way up to your
Okay.
favorite trilogy.
Least favorite sequels. Boom. Got it out the way. I'm sure you know why. Second. Oh, I'm hesitating with this one. The original trilogy.
Okay.
And then first, of course, as I was raised on those first, the prequels.
The same as Retta.
And the same as me.
Not the same as me.
Cool. So, what would you say is like? Obviously, the nostalgia fact of the original trilogy is why you like that over the original. But like, is there anything else about like the characters or the plot or anything of the prequels that you prefer over the original, or what would be your deciding factors on differentiating the two?
I I I appreciate the use of CGI in the prequels as in the original trilogy when they're combing the desert. It's kind of for a time there. Kind of takes me out of it just a tiny bit, but not enough to be like, that's not real. Just enough to be like, that's a bit off. And in the prequels, the CGI is kind of a bit better. Like when you zoom in on Yoda, when you and the choreographed lightsaber battles, I of course feel like are better, especially Revenge of the Sith.
Right. Cool. All right, Drew. What's the last topic that we're doing tonight?
The last topic. Rank all 11 films from
All right.
your least to greatest.
So, what's your number 11?
Number 11.
So, this is your least favorite Star Wars movie.
Attack of the Clones.
Ah, dang.
Wow. All right.
Again, I just don't like when when you're interested in somebody, you don't be like, I don't like sand. It's coarse, it's rough, and it gets everywhere. How does that start a conversation, first off? And second,
I mean, is he wrong though?
he's not wrong, but how do you go from that conversation to, oh, we're gonna get married?
I think it was that.
Young.
I think it was
You're
that John
dumb.
that John Williams Across the Stars music kind of put them in the.
It's all about the music in the background.
What if
But
it was
we
like
didn't see the record player that Anakin threw on in the background.
like what if like in Star Wars like the music that we hear is
is
just
what plays in the background.
actually plays in the background, but it's just normative for them to hear music, and they just don't acknowledge it. That'd be
It's
fun.
like they live in a musical, but they don't sing.
Yeah,
I can be down for that.
fun. All right. So next up, number 10.
This is gonna completely contradict the hot take that I said earlier, but well, not really. Well, kind of. The Rise of Skywalker.
Number 9.
Boo.
Oh,
That's
so
so funny.
that means he likes.
8 over 9.
Yeah.
It's wild. All right.
All right. Number 9.
Number 9. Number 9 would be wait, let me count. I have my little list here. So what was the last one I said?
You said
What was the last one I said? The
2 and 9.
You said episode 8.
No.
What?
You said 2, 9, and then number 9 is.
That would be The Force Awakens.
Oh, dang.
Whoa, dang. All right.
Dang, bro.
Mostly because, again, like before, it seems like a carbon copy of a New Hope. So you kind of can't beat A New Hope.
Yeah, you can. All right.
No, you can't.
All right. Your number 8 pick.
The Last Jedi.
Oh, 8 is number 8. Okay. Number 7.
Number 7. Solo.
Oh, dang. All right. All right.
It would have been higher up on the list if they kept the snowball fight.
Oh, yeah. The deleted scene when was it Chewie that threw the snowball or the Han that threw the snowball?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
The deleted
I,
scene?
for,
Mm-mm.
I
Because remember they're
forget.
walking and there's like snow. Like I think it's after it was before.
Before the
I think Han threw it first.
I think it was after the train heist, and
heist.
they're walking on in the snow, following Beckett, and I think it's Han. He throws a snowball at Chewie, and then Chewie like tackles him in the snow and is like rubbing snow in his face or something like that.
Forget who shot first. Who threw the first snowball?
Either way, it was Han. He
Yeah,
always shoots first.
they should have kept that in it. You're right. All right.
I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why they didn't let those guys finish that movie because it was too much of a comedy. But
Yeah, that is part of it. All right, after Solo, so number 6 is what?
Okay, keep in mind that there isn't much of a difference between these movies in the ranking, but it would be Return of the Jedi.
Oh, dang. All right. So 6 is number 6. All right, number 5.
That would be Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, 5 is 5.
it's 4-4. That is a big question right now.
Oh boy. Yes, A New Hope.
Oh, dang. So 6, 5, 4 in a row. So then your number 3 is what?
You won't ever guess what number 3 is.
Number 3.
No, The
Oh.
Phantom Menace.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought maybe that might be your number 1 because it was your first
That was
movie.
the first movie.
All right. So number 2.
Number 2 would be Rogue One.
Oh, Phantom Menace is your number 1.
No, that was number 3.
Oh, not Phantom Menace. Bruh.
Your number 1 is what then, Will?
Revenge of the Sith.
All right.
Come on. You can't beat a good mindlessly swinging a lightsaber.
So yeah, so you and Retta had the same top 2 but opposite. So she was number 1 was Rogue One but you're number 3. So you both had the same top 2. So why is Revenge of the Sith your number 1? We get it. A lot of people have it in their top 3, but what for you puts it
The
above
high ground. It's got to be the high ground, bro.
What puts it above Rogue One?
What puts it above Rogue One? With Rogue One, it would have been higher if, say, there was somebody that survived out of them.
Right.
Well, we didn't see him die.
Yeah, we haven't seen bodies, so
No bodies, just
Oh yes,
burns.
we saw people get shot and
Stuff.
killed. Like we
We
see
saw
like
those bodies, but
but like Jin and Andor. I just saw a bright light. That could have been anything. But anyway, well,
they could have been shining a very powerful flashlight right in their face. But Revenge of the Sith, we already have a connection to these characters. Little Annie, we saw him mostly grow up in the movies, and we see the manipulation by Palpatine the entire time, even in the first episode.
yeah.
And just for it to reach its peak in Revenge of the Sith, you must choose. And then Anakin turning. It's I just think it's a perfect movie.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. All right. So
That's fair.
I'll go over your list in order that you said it. So number 11 on the bottom, and working my way up to number 1, 2, 9, 7, 8, Solo, 6, 5, 4, 1, Rogue One, and 3. So
Solid list. I would switch a little bit, like 8 around a little bit.
So cool. Well, that's the interview. Thank you, Will, for being on the podcast and
Yeah.
letting us interview you.
Yes, of course.
And for all you guys out there, make sure you say hi to Will. He's very active, live chat. And you just yell at him in the live chat or go yell at him in the Discord. Either way, if you go to live chat, there'll be a link posted and pinned to the top to the Discord. And all of our other fun stuff because of Will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool,
and
cool.
if you're going to join the Discord, please make sure you accept the handy rules so I don't have to go find your username and be like, hey, you haven't accepted the rules yet.
Yeah, there's people that join and they don't, because you got to click that the little icon say that you've read the rules and then you enter in. And there's people that join and it says someone has joined, but they haven't accepted the rules to get the full
effect.
The full effect. So if join the Discord, click the icon to accept the policies and rules that we have, and then you're in. So, but yes, I always have. Will always has to message people like, "Hey, we saw that you joined.
Go read the rules.
Go read the rules and click the button, and you're in."
I'll pull out my little corporate email talk. Be like, hello. Seems you haven't accepted the rules.
Yep. You gotta say it like Yoda, though. You should type it in backwards.
Accept the rules, you must.
Yeah, perfect.
Access to Discord you will get.
All right, cool. All right, thank you, Will. It's been a pleasure, and we love your presence and part of your involvement in the community. You're really important to us, so we're glad to have you on. So thank you for all your hard work helping us outrun the Discord and stuff, and keeping people in line when they're breaking rules, which most people don't break rules. We're pretty good. We got good fans that are nice and respectful of people and aren't Sith Lords and all that stuff. But
yeah.
That being said, let's transition over to everyone's favorite time of every episode, voicemail time.
It's voicemail time.
All right, cool. So we have 2 voicemails tonight. One is a secret one. They didn't want to state their name, but it's a very short one. So let's take a listen to this first one from a mystery sender.
Hi, Empire Radio. Somebody's secret here. This is a message for Will. Hi, Will.
Hello. I totally don't know you at all. Hope you have a nice day, random person.
And right there, people couldn't tell the difference between the voicemail and
I wonder who that was.
Who the transition was there, but yes. So someone sent in a secret hello. But that being said, let's take a listen to our favorite pod racer who's on the run from probably the Hutts. Who knows? But let's take a listen to our good friend, Garrett.
Hey, Empire Radio, it's Garrett. I was finally able to make it off of Tatooine. I got people on my tail, but I'm able to put in the coordinates real quick, and we are going into hyperspace. Here we go. Yeah, you guys can't track me through hyperspace yet, can you? Anyway, now that we're chilling up in hyperspace, I actually have a moment to talk to you guys properly without getting attacked. I was wondering what you guys thought is the most powerful force ability and what's the most useful force ability. So powerful, maybe best in a fight, and useful, maybe something you're going to use a lot. Hopefully things calm down over here with me, and I will talk to you guys soon.
All right. Cool. Well, we're glad that you escaped Tatooine and you're safe. And who knows what adventures await you wherever your destination is. But the question is, what is the most powerful Force ability and then the most useful Force ability? There's a lot of Force abilities out there. And so it's hard to choose, but I think
I believe I got one.
all right, what's your answer, Will?
There's a reason it only showed up in one movie, but it would be Force Speed.
That is
Is the most powerful or the most useful? Or both?
both. Oh, dang. All right.
Because imagine you have to chase down somebody. You just, oh, I knocked
Knock
down
over
my
your mic.
Yeah, I just knock over my mic. Force Speed did that. You just to the person, and then if you're in a fight, you can get in close much quicker.
Right. I just wonder if we're ever going to see Force Speed ever again. Like,
It's so weird that we haven't.
yeah, I thought in episode 9 when Rey is standing in the desert and Kylo's racing in and she starts running away, I thought we were going to see it there, but we didn't. But for me, I think the most powerful would probably be Force Lightning. I think it's just if you don't know how to like stop it, like with a lightsaber or like Yoda, and he can just deflect it or absorb it in his hand, like there's nothing you can do. Like you're screwed. So I would say that's probably the most powerful, just because it's probably the hardest to defend against. But most useful, I don't know. Sometimes when I'm like sitting down and I just want to like flip a light switch across the room, like just be able to use telekinetic powers would probably be the most useful.
I feel like for me, the most useful would be healing yourself or any person or animal. Like, if you're a I could instantly become a doctor.
Well, I
Just
think,
heal everyone.
but I think with the force healing, like the whole concept is like you're giving your life force to someone else to heal them.
I don't have to kiss everyone all the
I know,
time.
but like I think that eventually like you would end up dying because you'd be giving away your life force.
You don't have to give it all away though. Just slowly.
That's when you retire.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
How do you know when your life force does it feel like you get sluggish and then you need to get like Wesley
You just
Andrews
become an
coffee and
old
tea?
man quicker. You age faster.
I would hope you would feel it.
There's got to be a way for you to get it back.
I don't know.
Just jump in the back of the tank,
I don't
heal
know.
someone, and just go bathe in there, and then you be straight for a little bit.
I don't know, but that's not like your life. You don't get life force when you're in a back tank. It just heals your body.
Well, what kills you? Your life force leaving or your body draining?
I don't know.
Like, what killed him? Probably that kiss, bro. She lived in the desert forever. She probably has stinky breath, and that's how she.
I don't know. I think to save someone's life who is like if they've died, like you have to completely give your life force away, and that's what Kylo did. Like he gave it away, and then he died like 10 seconds later because he didn't have a life
Oh
force.
no, I'm kind of leaning towards more stinky breath.
I don't know. I just feel like it's a weird. I feel like healing would be very helpful. You can figure out how to do it properly.
Right.
Maybe not from the dead or someone that died, but like ACL tear, let me go touch your knee and get it fixed. Like, like something easy like that. Sure, you can figure it
You
out.
just be the the
Just
he-
work for the Vikings.
the head trainer, like on like all your favorite sports teams, just so like if someone
Yeah.
gets hurt, you can heal them.
You can just
What a
heal 'em.
miraculous recovery! Wow.
They went to the locker room and they came back out better than ever.
What?
It's like you're like Mr. Miyagi doing like the
Yeah, the
rub the hands and then touch.
suction cups.
So, so that's your most useful. But what do you say is the most powerful?
Force lightning.
Force lightning.
Or choking people across the galaxy.
Somehow they returned.
Yeah. Or like Vader was choking people literally across the galaxy through whatever. I was gonna say holocron, but not holocron.
Hollow message or whatever.
Yeah, like straight up was choking people.
through
Yeah,
through a
Palpatine-
Zoom meeting.
Palpatine force chokes Dooku in the Clone Wars, like across the galaxy, which is
That's pretty powerful. That's pretty cool.
yeah. Like I wonder if you
Either
can.
that or the Jedi mind trick.
Yeah,
It would only work on certain individuals. That would be the problem.
Yeah, but would it though?
but weak-minded. So like, there's not a lot of strong-minded people in this world.
I was gonna say it's like probably
Yes,
half my
but-
teachers I could have got A's in, bro.
And if you are wondering about the ethics of the Jedi mind trick, we have a whole episode discussing the ethics of whether it's good or bad to use a Jedi mind trick. Go look that up. That's like
I forgot.
that's like a long time ago. That was like
That's a
spring
while ago.
2021 or something like that, I think.
But yeah,
It's
I don't
up
know.
there.
That's a good one too. I forgot about that one.
So go check that episode out. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all our voicemails that we have tonight. Really quick,
Short one.
short and easy. You know, we had all those 3-hour plus long episodes during the Ahsoka breakdown, so we're giving you guys a break with some shorter episodes. So
Only like an hour 30, maybe.
I don't know. All we gotta do tonight is socials, and we're out of here. We could get out of here in less than 1:20. So, Will, anything else you'd like to state about Star Wars or anything else before we go?
I believe.
Don't
I'm-
ask for a raise. Whatever you're about to say, don't ask for a raise. It's not in our budget. okay?
Dang it.
It's not in our budget right now. Empire Con took a little bit out
But-
of our sales.
All I have to say is, if you're not following Empire Radio already, either on Spotify, first off, why would you look them up? Listen all the way to this episode, or start on this episode, and not be following. Or if it's on Twitch, come and join us. You get to see everyone's dashing face.
Yeah,
And on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe.
definitely.
Yeah.
All right, and if you're wondering how to do all those things, just go in the description below. There's a link.co/Empire Radio, link spelled with 2 I's, and it's a landing page for everything: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Our fan email. We have a link for the needlesslynerdy.com entertainment network that we are a part of. If you like nerdy content, go check them out. All kinds of good stuff over there. And if you want to leave a voicemail too, there's a link to leave a voicemail. We love hearing new people. If you've never sent one, just send one in. All you gotta do is just say, "Hey, I'm so and so, love the podcast," or you could ask us a question, whatever. We don't care. We just like hearing from you guys because you support us, so we want to hear who you are. So
We even had a new one tonight.
yeah,
Oh,
like a
mystery
mystery
viewer.
person.
Yeah.
Also, I don't really mention it, but in the links page as well, it's the link to the VCU fan film that we made. Go check that out. It's like a movie length fan film that we made that we debuted this summer, and one of the stars of the show is our good friend Will. He was one of
He's a Lego.
He's mostly Lego in that movie, but it's an
Yeah.
great story, mostly illustrated with Lego stop motion, but there's all kinds of other great art too that our fans use to illustrate that amazing story. So it's the VCU or the Voicemail Cinematic Universe, and it's only on YouTube. So go check that out. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, all that good stuff. Thumbs up.
Give it a thumbs up.
Yep. Because it's a great movie. It's fun. All right, boys. Anything else?
No?
Nope.
All right, cool. Well, you've been listening to another interview-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And I'm Will.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.
Always.